I was not born in Pulau Ubin, but I was born in the Old Changi Hospital, which now turns out to be the LA HQ. But after I was born, I was brought back to the kampung in Pulau Ubin, which is at Kampung Nordin. So my kampung area, that area, there's a old mosque. It's called a surau. And just beside, if I just open my house door, it's just a Muslim cemetery. So my childhood, I was exposed to all these unseen beings, these supernatural beings. So whenever I played around as a child, I played around alone. I would be engaging, I was playing around in the cemetery. I climbed up the rambutan tree. I talked to the tombstone. That's what my late grandmother told me about.
I really don't feel good. It's not getting a
Is there anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
The island is haunted. But personally, for me, there's two places. In fact, three. One is at Puaka Hill. There's many stories to Puaka Hill where it's being told that this lady was raped and brutally murdered up the hill. And the body was thrown into the quarry and it was never been found. And secondly, it's at Kampung Cik Jawa. It's at the tower. There's sightings of Pontianak. In simple terms, Malay call it buragas. Buragas means it's a black, hairy fella running around the bush below the tower. And the story behind the tower is, I'm not quite sure about that, but some were being told that someone commit suicide there, and then they jump down from the tower. Quite similar story to the one at Pasir Ris Haunted Tower. Yes. And everybody knows there's the government actually built up a chalet on one part of Pulau Ubin. I do not know what's the reason behind the haunted chalet, but I guess since Pulau Ubin is being there since the colonial times, then it passed through the Japanese occupation. Maybe some people got murdered there, or someone is being used by the Japanese to torture, all that sorts. Yeah. Maybe that's the impact until now that the chalet is being closed, but it's not being torn down, but it's being closed and non-accessible to members of the public. Yeah. Another part of the island to me which is haunted is the OBS, because I experienced it myself. When I went through OBS, there's a cubicle toilet. If I can remember, there's a cubicle toilet. I actually hang my innerwear. I'll be blunt a bit, like it's my underwear. I hang it on the door, and my two with my towel. After finish showering, after I rinse myself, I look at the door. My underwear and my towel is missing. But when I go out the door, out of the toilet naked, I say, my towel, how come there's a nearby tree down there? How come my towel is
on a tree?
On a tree. My towel and my underwear is on the tree. So at my first thought, maybe my friends are playing prank on me. But to my thoughts, that couldn't be. When I think about that, I think maybe some disturbance from the other realm. Maybe they just want to play around, they want to joke around. For me, I can't be bothered, because if these things want to appear, let them appear. If they want to disturb, let them disturb. As long as we ourselves don't bother their peace, we don't disturb their peace. Things happen for a reason. In Malay, they call mulut celupa, or they are too brave enough. Whatever want to come lah. I think I scared lah. Same like as if we go to Gunung Ledang. Before we climb up Gunung Ledang, we were told that the mouth must keep shut. If we see anything, we see even a centipede or whatever we see, just don't say anything. Because that one also happens to me. To one of my friend, is a lady. Hey, ada nenek tua jalan lah. Someone, meaning an old lady was walking. After that, she gets hysterical. And it's very difficult to regain her consciousness because she was possessed with a very strong entity. So we have to get the locals to help. It's very hard for us to get ustaz down there or imam down there to help. So we get someone who is local medicine man, yes. She don't remember anything, but she was sick for a few weeks. Sadly to say, we have to send her to IMH for a psychiatric observation. And she's not crazy, but she just turned out to be blur. She's not that active like before. Maybe it's the impact of the the entity that possessed through her body. And move on, Changi. The famous Old Changi Hospital. Who never been there, I guess. Team SC has been there. Most of the paranormal teams in Singapore has been there. Personally, when I went there with my own paranormal team, the same girl, we bring her along. And this...
So the one from the...
Yes, correct. And this girl, she never mentioned that she's on period. So we take it as, okay, you okay? You sure you okay? I don't want history to repeat itself. So we bring her in. We still bring her along. So we go up, we walk around the building. Eventually we reach to one of the part which is, everybody say most part of the hospital is scary and spooky, which is the mortuary, the morgue. There is one bed, metal bed, still inside the mortuary. I go inside. I open the door. It's like I'm being pushed. The force, the wind is very strong. I'm being pushed until I just have to. Then my friends will just, hey, what happened to you? Apa jadi dengan kau? Tak ada apa-apa. It's okay. I'm okay. When I relating this story to Eugene, I got goosebumps, man, because of the flashback maybe. My itchy hands is that I go and touch the bed, I go and see the wall, I touch the wall. But when I want to go out the door, when I was about to leave, the metal bed was shaking. Tung, tung, tung. You imagine how heavy the metal bed can be if it can shake by itself? That part, personally, I got scared. I never run out, but inside my heart, Ya Allah, protect me. Ya Allah, protect me. Any God, whoever present, please protect me. I go out with sweat. And then I just take one cigarette. I took my cigarette, I just smoked one stick. I calm myself down. And then while I was relaxing myself, I heard someone shouting, Sini, sini, sini. Apa pasal? What happened? Sini. The same girl go into hysteria. I did some prayers on her, did a conversation with the spirit that invoke her body, that go into her body. Spirit says just simple, I like this woman. Why do you like this woman? Because she's on blood. Bring her out also is a struggle for us because the enormous strength for her. She's much more skinnier than me, but the enormous strength, maybe from the spirit that is possessing her, the enormous strength is so great that a lot of us struggle to bring her down. So I use some water, recite some prayers from the Quran, from what I know. Okay. I myself is a Kuda Kepang practitioner. So I practice Kuda Kepang since I was 6 years old until now. So I use some parts of what I learned in Kuda Kepang to remove the spirits. So thank God, Allah help us that day. The spirit's gone. So what happened to that girl? We straight bring her away to the hospital because when we check her pulse, it's very, very weak. Then all the way she was mentioning sakit, sakit, which means pain, pain, pain. What we tell her is you just recite some prayers, you remember to Allah, you remember God. Okay, you will be okay. Kuda Kepang, actually, to my best of understanding, I put in general, it's a traditional Javanese dance. Traditional inclusive of the gamelan, the whole set of gamelan, the gong, the bonang, the peking, the saron, the demung, all that. Okay, all that, they are part of the Kuda Kepang ensemble, gamelan ensemble. And Kuda Kepang is actually weaving. Kuda means horse, Kepang means weaving. The rider riding on a weave rotan horse. To me, to my best of understanding, Kuda Kepang has two elements in them. One, there are two epic. There are two Hindu epic. Mahabharata, characters from Mahabharata and characters from Ramayana. Actually, to practice Kuda Kepang is not easy. You have to pray faithfully 5 times a day. You have to keep fasting. You cannot miss your fast. So fasting in this sense is called patigani, puasa muti. Puasa muti means we only eat white rice, and plain water. If you want to add some, maybe can add some salt. Free our body from all toxics because rice is white, it's pure. Water is plain, it's transparent. When we eat all this, we go into our body, it's like we cleansing ourselves out of all toxics. So Kuda Kepang, yes, of course, we have some mantra that we recite. Mix of in Arabic and in Javanese. Some people say Kuda Kepang summon jinn. And when they when they are in possession, they don't recognize people. Then I just smile lah. When you ride the horse, when you're in trance in Kuda Kepang, you recognize who is your mother, your father, your sister, your friends. You recognize who are they. So they use this kemenyan not to actually invoke the spirit. It's just to uplift the spirit of the person itself while listening to the gamelan music. When the music is slow, they will tend to get aggressive. They will tend to, hey, why music slow? Hey, why? So these riders, then we are trying to invoke them faster. We can't speak. It's like being jammed. Our mouth is being jammed, but we can move with our hands. And we can move with our signal. We can move with our feet, point.
What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.